Okay, so what is the title? Let's see what the title is today. I forgot already. What is oneness? So what's really nice in non-duality is that it doesn't name what's being talked about, so it calls it not two. So that's what it means, like this is not two world. Which is so beautiful. Even going to speak it like makes my body like vibrate with joy. So when I was younger and I first heard this concept in Buddhism, the way they explained it was through the idea of atoms and particles. That when you take a microscope and you look down at everything, you can never really, like when you zoom in on everything, you can never really find the border to one thing and another. Like, so although I look like a human, if you zoom in on me, oi, mosquito, off. So if you zoom in on me, you can't really find my border. You can't really find skin or bone or blood or water. You keep zooming in and you just find more and more particles. And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And the same for the door. The same for the chair. So we call this a chair or a sofa, and we believe that's what it is. And we think that there is a separate entity, there is a dualistic world which has all these separate entities around. Like, so there's a chair, there's a floor, there's a TV, there's a wall, there's a sky, and they're all separate. But what's so miraculous and so mysterious about this world is that when you zoom in, you can't find that separation. Like, what is the border between me and the air, me and the sofa, me and you? So zoomed out, there looks like there's difference, but zoomed in, there is no difference. You could also compare it to a computer game. Like, zoomed out, it looks like Super Mario is running around the screen and doing all these things in this world, in Super Mario World, meeting Da Vinci and Mushroom and the princess, and saving the day. So you think that's happening from the zoomed out perspective, but when you zoom in, you begin to find, I suppose, zeros and ones, and then if you zoom in far further than that, then you'll find green. Oh, I've forgotten what it is on the screen. Is it? It's green, red and blue, the lights of green, red, blue, and then when you zoom in further from that, then you find white light, I think. It's something like that. And that's so beautiful. So there is an appearance of dualism, but in reality, it's not two. So I assume that's what oneness means. But they didn't call it oneness because they thought that that was too explicit. Like that it's more in line to say not two, rather than oneness, because oneness implies something else. It's so beautiful. In non-duality, what we tend to talk about is the observer and the observed being the same thing. But even in that, you kind of lose the observer and the observed. So you start off with this idea of this, that there's something watching in every experience. There's something that's conscious in every experience. And then there's also this sense of I amness, this sense of beingness. And that's been there throughout your life. And then they say in non-duality that goes on after death. But when you really get a sense of that and really wake up to that, then that begins to break down too as well, because what is observing? And where is the observation? And how is it separate from what's being looked at? And that next part is love, is what you define as love. a really beautiful subject. So really there is no looking, there is simply everything. And then when you go deeper, like everything is not a thing, and yet it's everything. So everything is no thing. And you really go deep into it, like nothing has substance. And you can even experience that now. It's not even you, because who is this you that we talk about? But it can be experienced like there is nothing experiencing. So in this moment, there is nothing that's looking out. There's nothing that's being looked at. In the imagination, it feels like there's something. So you think, there is somebody that's looking out. So there's an entity that's looking out. But that's all in imagination. In the moment, it's totally empty. So in this moment, there is simply speaking happening. Just speaking happening, and then there's hearing happening, but it's for no one. It's empty of a source. It's happening in freedom. Doogie, doogie, doogie! Doogie, doogie, doogie! What else to say? Just like waggy, waggy, waggy. What can be said about that? That's so beautiful.